guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is another Scientology video, and let's listen to what Scientology has done now. So I want to shout out Kyva Go for suggesting this article to me. It was suggested in the comments of one of my past videos, and this is an article from Reason.com on how Scientology recruits inside the Florida prison system. Now, this is not Scientology directly, this is Criminon, which is one of their little sticky little fingers of Scientology. It's one of their front groups, and we covered an article about one of their other front groups talking about the Museum of the Evils of Psychiatry. So Criminon is another one of their front groups, and Criminon likes to talk a big game about how they're reforming people with criminal histories. Well, now they're trying to even get to them before they even get out of prison. So this article goes through the Florida prison system, but it also highlights how Criminon has been kicked out of other prison systems. So let's get into this. Reason obtained public records that show Criminon running seminars in dozens of Florida prisons. They are running them not only in prisons, but also in juvenile facilities. So they're even trying to get to them young. Criminon packaged the seminars as betterment seminars for the Florida, as the Florida Times Union reported in December, and that is why the Criminon was given the okay by the Florida's Everglades Correctional Institution to go ahead and give these courses in their facility. Criminon even did a press release in December for 2 graduating groups of inmates, one from the Everglades Correctional Institution and one from the Manatee County Correctional Institution for graduating their courses. Of course, they want to give good press because they want to be like, see, we're helping people, we're doing good. Just like everything Scientology puts out there, they want to give the good side of what they're doing. They never want to talk about the bad side of what they're doing. So Criminon has now submitted an application to the Florida Department of Corrections. This was in March of 2017 for it to continue running its seminars. So digging through public records, Criminon advised it has ran 42 seminars at 16 different Florida institutions that includes prisons, jails, halfway houses, and juvenile detention centers, and they've been doing this since 2011. I mean, I find this completely disgusting. I find this completely disgusting for one reason. Yes, there needs to be some type of reform in our prison systems. There needs to be some type of reform, yes, definitely in the juvenile centers to get them while they're young so that they don't become offenders when they're older. It does not need to be Scientology. Definitely doesn't need to be Scientology because Scientology does its own criminal stuff. These are the same people that were stalking federal IRS agents and bribing them and blackmailing them to get their tax-exempt status. It's the same people that break the laws when it comes to their tax-exempt status at this time by using their tax-exempt status money to do illegal activities. But yes, you're going to tell people how to live a better life and keep them out of prison? I don't think so. And this is a piece from their application. We are dedicated to criminal rehabilitation and reintegration through our education curricula for offenders. Criminon President Brian Fowler wrote to the Florida Department of Corrections. To accomplish our aims, we use secular works of author and humanitarian L. Ron Hubbard. I don't think so. Crimin-On seminars focus on The Way to Happiness, which was written by L. Ron Hubbard. That is the book they focus on. And the program covers such ideas such as how to study, how to effectively communicate, and how to identify antisocial personalities. Now, yes, how to communicate is a great skill for people that are in prison because, yes, some of those people need to learn how to communicate more effectively. How to study would be a great thing for the juveniles so that they can learn to study, get an education, learn some skills. Also, for those in prison, yes. How to identify antisocial people. That is most of the people in the prison system. They fit antisocial personality disorders to a T. And here's a little snippet from their application. The Crimin-On program is based on the fundamental assumption that the root causes of criminal behavior are lacks of self-respect and self-esteem. Okay, I can get behind that. It's also a lack of education, a lack of opportunities, a lack of care. But moving on. It says Crimin-On does improve study habits and some inmates' self-esteem, but it has been removed from other state institutions due to its links to the Church of Scientology. And I can see why, because once you find out its links to Church of Scientology and you do a little looking into the Church of Scientology, it's very clear as to why you don't want any ties to it. The Church of Scientology is not something you want to deal with as a whole. Just look at what it does. Moving on. So, Los Angeles Times does a story in 2005, and this is a little piece from then. If inmates are on psychiatric drugs, they're encouraged to get them to get off. Psychiatrists are heavily into the prison system. Crimin-On training materials from the California prison obtained by LA Times read. Most jails and prisons have a staff psychiatrist that goes in daily doses of various sundry mind-altering drugs to the inmates. Most of the time, this is a ploy to keep the inmates sedated so that they don't cause trouble. Also, it's been proven that a lot of people in the prison system have mental illness. Their criminal activity is a byproduct of their mental illness. Figure that one out. So you're wanting to encourage people that are bipolar or schizophrenic, or, the big one, bipolar schizophrenic, to get off their medications. And you're going to do what for them? Oh, yeah. Nothing. I mean, there's no healing process for people that are that mentally ill. There's nothing you can do to help them cope with that mental illness, especially when the hallucinations kick in. And some of them are visual, and some of them are auditory. And, what if an auditory hallucination kicks in and their auditory hallucination tells them to beat their cellmate to death? What does L. Ron Hubbard tell them to do about that? Okay. So Florida Times, Union, and Miami New Times both reported on Crimenon having been active in the Florida prisons since around 2005. This is when Florida legislature approved a $500,000 backing for them. Let me rewind. $500,000 Florida is paying Crimenon to be in the prison system. That's why Crimenon's there. It's not for a humanitarian effort. It's not to help the prisoners. It's because they're getting cold hard cash from the legislature. But here's a good thing I could say about one of the Bushes. Jeb Bush actually vetoed the funding. Unfortunately, it still went through. Crimenon, though, has been listed as an elective course for the prisoners. But I'm going to tell you something. When you're in prison and there's nothing else for you to do, and you're bored, you'll take the elective course because it gives you something to do. So the Church of Scientology is lobbying for criminal justice reform and pushing Crimenon up as the way to reform the criminal justice system. Of course they are, because Scientology thinks they know all the answers to everything. All the time. They have the answers. Didn't you know this? But again, let's rewind back to that scenario I just posed. You're wanting to take people with dangerous mental issues off of their medications. But what happens when their hallucinations kick in and their hallucination tells them to kill somebody? What's your answer to that, Scientology? How are you going to combat that, Scientology? Do you have an answer to that, Scientology? Point it out to me. Of course you don't. So sit down and shut up. But former members such as Leah Remini say that this is just another recruitment effort for the church. And of course it is. You get people in while they're in prison. You start talking to them. You find out that they are come from somebody somewhere that has some money. And you get them brainwashed while they're in prison. When they get out, they'll come back. And that's the dead honest truth about it. That's all this is another recruitment line for the Church of Scientology to try to get their numbers up because they're dying. And that's the end of the piece. So, what do you guys think about Crimenon and the prison systems? I mean, come on now. I thought Scientology was low. Well, I mean, I knew Scientology was low, but Jesus Christ. I mean, you're going in and trying to recruit criminals. At this point, I mean, you're really reaching. Anyway, guys, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Go ahead and subscribe. Ring that bell if you haven't already. And let me know down in the comments what you think of this video. Again, this was sent to me by Kyva Go. In my comment section, if you have an article out there you want me to cover, give it to me in the comment section or look down in the description box by my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or my email and send me those and I will shout you out because, guys, you keep this channel going. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.